Greetings and salutations. How we all doing? It is, well, technically it's Sunday now, 3:30 in the morning. I'm on my first night of patrol, and this week I'm working 5 days. I'm working 40 hours this week, the next week, and the week after that. I usually only work 4 days a week, but I got an extra day because some certain guys are on vacation, so I'm filling in a few different spots. So I worked Friday night in the gate, and then I do my Saturday, Sunday, Monday is patrol, and then I'm actually working in the gate on Tuesday, third shift. I'm actually working the gate July 4th on second shift, which is 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. I am so not looking forward to that. I do not like working second shift, especially on a holiday, but I get holiday pay for it, so there you go. Make the money where you can. It's been a quiet night, except for I had a very odd occurrence. Let me give you some advice. If you own a white van, get rid of it. The number one van used by rapists, child molesters, kidnappers is white panel vans. You just look it up. Believe me. It doesn't matter if it's a Ford, Chevy, Dodge. It's a suspicious vehicle in most people's eyes. I was doing patrol tonight. I come up to the west gate, and on the other side of the gate, off the property where I do patrol, was a white van, but it was parked across the road with the back of the van parked up into the tall grass, so you couldn't see the license plate. Very suspicious. No vehicles are usually there. It's not an area that the vehicles are very often. And to see a van parked across the road like that brought the hairs up on the back of my neck. So, of course, I'm looking at it using my spotlight, my trusty LED spotlight, trying to get a look at the, let me move this camera here a little bit, trying to look at the license plate, but I couldn't see it. Now this van, if you'd gotten on the roof, you could have leaped over the gate, and we've had some issues in the back of people climbing over the gate to get onto the golf course. But it was just kind of suspicious because it wasn't there earlier, and this is like, 1:45 in the morning, and it just didn't seem right. Really, I've been in security a long time, and sometimes you see something, you just know something ain't kosher there. So I'm looking around, I couldn't see anybody. Looked around in the tall grass on the other side of the fence on our property to see if somebody jumped into the tall grass, and you'd see the grass was all smushed down, but I didn't see anything. So I called the front gate officer up and told him, call the sheriff, have him come up here, and, they can take a look at it, and we'll just make sure that, nothing's going on. Now, I've been here shining the spotlight, looking around on this thing now for probably 10 or 12 minutes. And I'm waiting for the sheriff officer to come. And and tonight it cleared off, and it's a bright full moon. I mean, it's just like, I have great night vision because of the injections I get in my eyes. I have better night vision than most people actually have. I have really good night vision, which is strange because people see me with glasses, they don't think I have very good vision, but I have excellent night vision. And with the full moon out and everything, I could see perfectly fine without the spotlight, but I was using the spotlight just to see if I could see anything. So I'm standing around waiting for the sheriff's officer to show up. And there's a dirt road that goes up this way, and then the paved road that goes this way through the gate, and the van was parked on the paved road pointing towards what would be a dirt road that goes along the gate line. And you got to come up over the hill. There's no trees right there, so if someone comes down that dirt road, I would see them long before they, would get close enough to even talk to me. All of a sudden, I just start hearing footprints across the gravel, and I look, and there's these two guys. And literally, they're at the bottom of this little hill, suddenly. There's no way they come over that hill, and I didn't see them. There's just no way. They had to have come out of the ditches, or been walking in the ditches, so not to make noise, but I would have seen them coming over this hill. Suddenly, these two guys come walking up, and they're wearing shorts and sneakers and wife-beater t-shirts, a black one. One guy's wearing a black t-shirt, and the other one's wearing a white t-shirt with a hat on. And they come up and they said, "Oh, we saw the lights. We just come down and check on the van, make sure everything's okay." I'm thinking to myself, by this time, it's been almost 15 minutes since I've been there shining the lights. I'm like, you guys just noticed I was down here? Oh, we're just, out here walking. There's nothing down here. It's a dirt road that goes by the fence on the backside of the golf course. Very unlikely that anybody would be down there. And they're like, "Oh, we're just walking around." I said, "Well, you can't be parking your van here." I said, "Right next to a gated community, a white panel van." I said, "What do you think the guy living in this house is going to be thinking? He's not going to be thinking you're here just looking out for a moonlight stroll." And, "Oh, no." And I said, "Well, we've called the sheriff's office because, it was very suspicious." And the guy in the white t-shirt is standing between the van and the gate, and he's looking at me. So I turned to look at him, and he's got a glazed look on his face. I don't know, like he ain't got a clue as to what's going on or something. And I had said the sheriff was coming. All of a sudden, all right, the guy in the black t-shirt is leaping across, and he's into the driver's seat, and he starts the motor. Literally, I mean, I don't know how he got from where he was to the van that quick, but he starts firing it up, and all of a sudden, the guy in the white t-shirt jumps into the passenger side, gets in it, and they take off. Now, as they turn, I was trying to look at the license plate, but when they turned, they didn't turn their headlights on. They didn't turn the running lights on. They went down the road a little bit, and then they turned the headlights on. By then, I couldn't see the license plate. And I was thinking to myself, okay, that's just completely suspicious. That's just something wrong with that. So I watch them. Now, I've seen some vehicles go down this road before, but I've never been on the other side of this gate, obviously. The road goes down, and then it goes up a hill, and then, people disappear. And then you can take a left where the only street light is. There's only one street on this road, and right there is a left that people usually take, or they go straight. They get down to that light, and they hang a right. I'm thinking to myself, I don't even think there's a road there, is there? So 5-6 minutes later, two sheriff officers pull up. I gave him the lowdown, and the sheriff thought it was a little suspicious too. He says, well, do you have a key to the gate? And I was like, oh yeah. So I let him through the gate instead of having to go all the way back out of the property, around the little lake, and come out there and stuff like that. But I didn't open the gate when I was looking at the van because I didn't want anybody to bum rush me because, that could be a setup. I mean, I've been a security officer a long time. You can't just fool me that quickly, okay? I've been a security officer who hasn't gotten hurt ever for a reason, because I'm not stupid. So I let the sheriff officers through, and they go racing down the road, and they turn right there at that light, and they can go up to the right, and I secure the gate, lock it all back up. I go off to do my thing. 45 minutes later, I get a call from the guy at the front gate saying the sheriff was just in. And I said, okay, well, the radios don't work that great. I said, well, hold on, let me come down to the front gate. So I pulled down the front gate. They had gone up that road. That was a dead-end road. He says, you go up there, it only goes up so far, and it's a bunch of rich houses up there, because it's up on this, by the lake, it's a nice piece of land. He says, but there was no van or anything up there, and he was telling the other security officer that they were probably in the woods either doing drugs or having sex. I mean, that was the only reason why they'd be up there on that dirt road at 2 o'clock in the morning. I mean, come on, there's only a few things they're going to be doing up there, you know what I mean? So, but he said that they didn't see anything. Now, when they left and they turned on that right, like I said, I've been a security guard for a long time. I kept my eyes looking down that road because I figured if they come back out, went up the road, or if they come back to the gate, I'd want to see what was going on. You don't want to turn you back to the suspicious vehicle. So while I was waiting for the police officer to come, I'm looking down the road. And they never came out. That cop, both sheriffs pull up. I point down to the road. I'm still looking down the road. I said, this is where they went, right at that light. I said, you take a right, and then I walked down, opened the gate. Never saw the van come out. So when they went down, that van never come back out of that road. So it tells me that van was either parked in somebody's garage, which means if they lived there, why were they taking the van down to the dirt road when they could have walked up? It was all just very strange. So I'm not sure what that was all about, but welcome to my world. Yeah, very suspicious. Yeah, I just tell you, I knew right from the get-go. As soon as I saw the van, I knew it wasn't right. And I'll tell you, very suspicious. So I had to make out an IR report, of course. It wasn't on our property, so the IR report probably won't even make it to the gate committee. But, of course, I wanted to cover myself as to why we called the sheriff. But, of course, if something did happen and I hadn't called the sheriff, I would have been, my job would have ended. So I figured it was best to call the sheriff. It's always better to call the sheriff and make out an IR report and not have anything come of it than not. So it'll be interesting to see if I ever hear anything back about that one. But it was really strange. But a white panel van sitting by the fence. Geez, when I first pulled up to it, I was thinking to myself, that ain't going to be good. So I don't know. I don't know what they were doing. And I'm probably better off not knowing. As long as they weren't doing anything on the property. Because where that gate goes up, on that dirt road is, we've had some people before jump the gate there to get onto the golf course. So it's kind of one of those areas we keep a little extra, look on. And every now and then I see people parked there, usually making out, because there's the road comes up and then it goes to that dirt road, but the dirt road's just like a access road. So people like to park up here thinking they can just make out or, smoke or drink or whatever. So as many times I come up to the gate, I've caught a vehicle there, and as soon as they usually see the headlights, they fire up the ignition and they shoot down that road because they don't want anybody to know they were there. So, I mean, I've had that happen a couple times, but the van was really suspicious. And the fact that they backed it up into the just far enough back into the tall grass that you couldn't see the license plate. You know, it's just all really odd. But so there you go. That's my excitement. Like I said, second night in, 3 more nights to go. So I'll make a little extra money this month. I'll get 3 extra days in. 1 day's time and a half for 4th of July, so that'll be good. Which is good, because, you know, I got a few things I got to take care of. I got my dog, it's got to be groomed. I'd really like to get my windshield replaced on my car. You know, and I got a lot of other little things I got to be doing. By the way, thank you for the comments on the last video. A lot of good ideas, a lot of good support. You guys rock. I appreciate it. I tried to reply to all the comments. I don't think I missed anybody's comment. If I missed your comment for some reason, I apologize, but I'm pretty sure I answered everything. So, alright guys, I got about an hour and 15 minutes left of this shift, so I'm going to try to get her done and head home and get me some sleep. So I'll catch you beautiful people in the next video.